In today's video, I'm going to share with you step by step how I'm generating over $10,000 per month in profit within my business. In the last year alone, with this method, I've sold over $700,000 and I've done about $180,000 profit, but I'm consistently doing $10,000 a month profit. During this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I'm doing this, what platform I'm utilizing to be able to buy and sell products and make these profits. I'm going to talk about how do I find these products, because what I'm doing is very different than what most people are doing and probably how you're going out and buying and selling products. Most people go to thrift stores, garage sales, auctions, flea markets. Those are great ways to find products, but the issue is you're typically going to run out of time and there's a lot of competition. Number three, I'm going to share with you the types of products that I'm selling. I'm also going to break down number four, what are the ROIs and profits that I'm focusing on when dealing with these products. I'm going to talk about how much time I am spending in this business, and you're going to be shocked how little time I'm actually spending doing this to generate over $10,000 a month profit. Now, keep in mind, I've been doing this for over 10 years, but this method I'm going to share in this video, I've only been doing it for about three and a half years. So I used to make a lot less money, and when I discovered this method, my sales, my profits went through the roof, and I was able to have a lot more freedom. I'm also going to break down my high-level process of exactly how I'm doing this, because if you don't follow the process that I share in this video, you're going to spend a lot more time and you're not going to have as much freedom. And then last but not least, I'm going to share the best way to get started if you are a beginner, because if you're brand spanking new and you've never done this before, then you're definitely going to want to start at step one and then evolve to step two, step three, step four. It's a process. So without further ado, if you're excited for this video, then be sure to smash that like button and let's get into some fun. All right, so what exactly am I doing to make over $10,000 a month in profit? So what I'm doing is I'm selling on Amazon FBA. Now, FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. So what I do is I buy products, and then what I do is I ship them to Amazon, and they have fulfillment centers all over the country. And once I ship it to them, they store it at their warehouses, and it becomes available for sale on Amazon. And once it sells, the employees and the workers at the warehouses, they're gonna pick it, they're gonna pack it, and then they're gonna ship it to the customer. Now, you probably heard of Amazon FBA before, and you're gonna hear a lot of people talking about private label, wholesale, traditional online arbitrage, where you buy from maybe Nike sites or Kohl's, so on and so forth. What I'm gonna share is completely different, because those are more advanced techniques. You also might have heard of people going to thrift stores and garage sales, and that's a great way to get started, which, you know, is what I'll talk about at the end of this video. Because again, when you start selling on Amazon FBA, don't go into private label. You're going to lose all your money. The same with wholesale, the same with traditional online arbitrage. And even the method I'm talking about today, it's not the first way that you want to start, but let's dive a little deeper into this topic. So what specifically am I doing on Amazon FBA? So what I'm doing is something known as E2A. I call it the E2A method. It's buying items on eBay, sending it to Amazon FBA, and making a profit. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you you can't do this. They're going to say the same thing about thrifting and garage sales and flea markets. But the reality is you certainly can. You just have to be careful, because Amazon's really been cracking down on having invoices. So most of the products, I would say 98% of the products that I sell are not very popular. They're not selling 500 times a month. You know, I'm not selling Nike shoes. I'm not selling like stuff that you're going to find at Best Buy or things that are in the store currently. These are items that are typically vintage in nature, discontinued, or items that are only selling maybe 5, 10, 15 times per month. Now, you might be thinking, well, Steve, why are you selling products that aren't popular? How are you doing so much in sales? Well, the reality is many of these products, people still want them. Maybe only 5 to 10 to 15 sales per month. But the good thing is there's very low supply. So when I buy a product on eBay and sell it on Amazon, there might only be 1 or 2 people selling it, compared to like a Nike shoe, you're going to have 50, 100, 200 people on that listing. And what it typically causes is price tanking, a lot of competition. Items might take a long time to sell, or your account could be at risk of getting an IP complaint or a counterfeit complaint, because these are really popular items that the masses are going after. So your next question is, Steve, how are you finding items on eBay to sell on Amazon? What are you doing? Just going to eBay and typing in a certain item and filtering it to the lowest or newly listed, or scanning it with your Amazon seller app? Well, when I first started, I actually did that. And believe it or not, it really did work, but it took a ton of time. There's also softwares out there that will help you to be able to find items on eBay to Amazon, such as Flipmine. Flipmine's a great software. The problem with Flipmine is it's very competitive, and anyone who's ever used it, they'll tell you, hey, yes, you can certainly find deals on Flipmine, but the problem is, it's like, think of like a cart coming out at Goodwill. You ever seen those blue carts that come out, and then you have all the competitors jumping in and rushing it? It's like at the Goodwill bins, and there's deals to be found, but it's really, really competitive. So what I focus on now in my business, 90% plus of the items that I'm sourcing from eBay to Amazon, I'm using the Replay Catcher. So you can check that out at replaycatcher.com. It's a software that I've developed, and I've been using it for the last year. Essentially, what you can do is you can upload any ASIN, any product, to this software, and all you have to do is upload the ASIN. The software matches it all up, and then it essentially populates the software with all the deals that are available from eBay to Amazon. And there's other softwares out there as well that can help you to do this, but the problem is they have a limited database of products, and a lot of the products that you want to flip aren't in the database. So if it's not in the database, you're never going to see the product. So I focus on 90% plus replens. These are items that I've sold before, and I'll talk about this at the end, how you can build a replens list for yourself. But replaycatcher.com, that's how I find over 90% of my products, and it's been a game changer for me. So you're probably wondering, Steve, what types of products do you flip from eBay to Amazon? Well, the reality is I flip almost everything. I flip books, used books, I'll flip DVDs, I'll flip board games, toys, action figures, office supplies, electronics, home good items. I literally will flip any and everything. And that's why it's so important, like I mentioned before, to build a replens list. And I'm going to talk about this at the end of the video, how you can build a replens list. But again, essentially, anytime you sell an item, you have an advantage over other sellers because A, you know how long it took to sell. B, you know if there's been any price tanking. C, you know how much profit you're going to make. And D, you don't have to rely on the Keepa charts. So for me, I sell any and everything. Really, over the last year, I've focused a lot more on electronics and home good items and office supplies and tools. But if you're first getting started flipping from eBay to Amazon, I would recommend starting with two categories. I would start with books, and I would start with DVDs. And the reason I would start with those categories is, first and foremost, books you don't have to get ungated for the most part. And the books you are gated on, those are books that are probably highly likely to get a counterfeit or have issues on Amazon, but I flip a ton of books. Books are a great category, and also DVDs as well. DVDs and CDs are really easy to get ungated in. You can go to christianbook.com, buy some DVDs, upload that invoice, and get ungated. The profit margins are really high. And one of the things I like about Replay Catcher is it organizes all of the items. So for example, when you see an item, maybe you want to go after Dallas season 5, there'll be a little button that says view all offers, and you can see all 10 to 15 offers that are available. And even if there's no offers available at, let's just say, you know, your 40-50% margin, you could make best offers. And that's what I love about eBay. Probably over half the items that I purchase on eBay aren't very profitable, and people just pass them over. But guess what? We make tons of best offers on deals. And if you've ever sold on eBay, you know how sometimes it could be amazing, and then other times it could be really slow. So there's a lot of eBay sellers who are buying these items at thrift stores and stuff for $1 or $2, selling an item for $50, and it might sit for 2, 3, 4 weeks. So if I offer $30, a lot of them will be like, hey, I'm making a good amount of money. I'm getting rid of this product. I'm getting cash flow in my business. And again, that's another reason why I love Replay Catcher. It organizes everything for you. You could see all the offers, whereas with other softwares, you know, you're literally just, it's a competition to see who could refresh the fastest, and things are just really unorganized. So I sell any and everything. In terms of the profit margins that I focus on, typically I won't flip an item from eBay to Amazon if it doesn't make at least $10 profit and a 40 to a 50% return on investment. So say, for example, I spend $50 on a product on eBay, I'm gonna wanna make around $25 profit, which would be a 50% return on my initial investment. This is one of the best things of buying from eBay and flipping on Amazon compared to wholesale or traditional online arbitrage. The margins are a lot higher. Now you might be thinking, well, Steve, I can go thrifting and hit garage sales and find an item for $1 and sell it for $100. That's true. You're never going to beat the margins of going to thrift stores and whatnot. But the reality is there's a lot of competition and there's limited inventory because you can only source as much as, you know, what's available at your local Goodwill or Savers or your mom and pop thrift store or your local garage sale. Whereas on eBay, there's millions and millions of products and you can make best offers. So that's definitely a game changer, but I'd say about a 40 to a 50% margin is my minimum. I have students of mine and friends of mine who they don't flip items. My good friend Kevin, he won't flip toys or board games for less than I think a 60 to a 70% margin. There's just so much opportunity on eBay, it's not even funny. So how much time do I spend in my eBay to Amazon business to do over $700,000, to do over $10,000 a month in profit at the end of the day after fees, expenses? So again, like I said, I've been doing this for over 10 years, this method over 3 years, and I'm only spending about 2 hours per week in my business. Now you might be thinking, Steve, this is where I click off the video. This is where I know you're full of it, you're lying, you're trying to sell us something. And just listen, just hold up a second. The way that I'm able to do this, and I'm gonna explain my process right now, is I have a team of virtual assistants. Now, again, I'm not telling you to do this if you're brand new. I literally wouldn't even follow what I'm saying if you're new. This takes a good 6 to 12 months to build up to it. But I've been doing this method for over 3 years. So I have 2 virtual assistants that source for me full time. And within the replay catcher, which is really cool, you could set target buy prices. So let's just say you upload a list of 300 to 400 replay items into your replay catcher. You can go into each individual item and put a target buy price for what you want to pay for it. So this literally eliminates a good deal of the process of training a virtual assistant. Now, my virtual assistants are trained up, but what I've done now is we go into every single item, we add a target buy price, and when they go into replay catcher, you'll see all the products come up and you'll see the target buy prices, and they literally just buy the items for me. They do have to check the condition, and you know, there's a different set of steps that they have to follow, but my virtual assistants go in and they buy over 90% of the items from the replay catcher. Now, once they purchase the item from the replay catcher, what we do is we send those items to a prep center. So I use a prep center in Ohio. I live in Connecticut. And what happens is those items get shipped to a third-party prep center, otherwise known as like a logistics company. And we pay about $1.50 per item. And when the items arrive at this prep center, they inspect the items, they prep it, they price it, they put the condition. So my VAs, they do have to go in, my virtual assistants, they go in and put in the condition and they, you know, put in the price of what we're gonna sell it for, so on and so forth. And then that prep center will box everything up, they'll create my shipment, and then they'll send it to Amazon FBA. And if you remember what I talked about in the beginning of the video, FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. So once Amazon receives it, they're gonna then store it in the warehouse. The product will become available for sale. And when it sells, they pick it, package, ship it. And can you guess what happens next? Yes, we get paid. So that's essentially the process. That's why I'm only spending a couple hours per week, because A, I'm not sourcing anymore. And again, I'm telling you, this takes time to build up to that. B, I'm not having items come to my house anymore where I used to have to pick them, prep them, pack them, ship them, deal with all that stuff. I don't have to do that. I'm not dealing with customer service because Amazon deals with all of that. Now, again, some folks in the comments are gonna say, Steve, but the fees, they're so high, so on and so forth. Yes, the fees do come to about, 30, 35% at the end of the day. And then you have to ship it to Amazon, but that's cheap. That's like 30, 40, 50 cents per item. And you're gonna say there's returns and so on and so forth. This is all true. Amazon's not easy. There are a lot of different rules and fees and so on and so forth, but that's why we're aiming for a 40 to a 50% ROI. And that's why some of my students and my friend Kevin that I mentioned before, he's aiming for a 60 to a 70% margin, because after the fees and after, returns and after inbound shipping and after, maybe storage fees, there's still a lot of money left. Whereas if you're doing wholesale or traditional online arbitrage, your margins are so freaking thin. So that's what I love about eBay to Amazon. You could source products at insane margins. Matter of fact, my friend Seth, go check out his YouTube channel, Checkmate Flips. A lot of his margins are a minimum of, I think, 90 to 100%. Don't take my word for it. Go check out his YouTube channel. He's doing that as well. So that's my process, and that's how I'm able to make what I'm calling semi-passive income because I built a system and a workflow around it. So if you're brand new, should you follow my exact methodology that I've shared in this video? No, I would start, first and foremost, if you're brand new, I would start with thrift stores. I would start with garage sales, and I would spend your time to learn the process, because you have to learn how to analyze deals, how to know if an item is gonna give you an IP complaint. You've got to learn how to get ungated. You have to learn how to list products, ship products, read Keepa charts, right? One of the things I hate about these types of videos where, you know, you watch them on YouTube and someone's telling you like, you can make all this money, but they don't give you the context. The context of this is, it's a journey. Like, you have to take step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the good thing about selling on Amazon FBA is you could start from thrifting and garage sales and spending all your time and being in the business and learn it, but then you could automate it and you could outsource it like I have. And then you could hire people virtually like I have in the Philippines to source for me. I have people that reprice for me. I have people who fix my inventory and stranded inventory and different things like that. I have a prep center now. So that's the cool thing about this business. You could really build it up. So, you know, I would start with thrifting and garage sales. And then as you sell, you know, more and more items, so say you sell a book for 70 or 80, or you sell a DVD for 50, or you sell a board game for 30 bucks. This was one that I found. This is probably only selling for 20 or so. You know, as you find those items, I would say if it sells for over 40 bucks, go look on eBay and see if there's any available. Put those items into Replen Catcher. Start adding your replens and your ASINs into the Replen Catcher. Then every day, check to see what's available. And if you see that that's at a semi-good deal, or if it's a great deal, a lot of times there'll be a great deal, snatch it up, because the Replen Catcher updates, you know, about every 30 minutes. So it's checking eBay's, you know, catalog every 30 minutes as fast as you can. And they also have a top seller feature that we've built out. We could have items checked under 5 minutes, 10% of your account, which is really cool. So as you sell more and more items, thrifting and garage sales, and you do this business on a budget, you build your replens list. And of course, the margins aren't going to be as good. You know, like, you're not going to have 500% ROI flips, you know, doing eBay to Amazon like you will with thrifting. But guess what? You could do it in the middle of the night. You could do it early in the morning. You could source anytime. Now, it will require a little bit more capital and obviously knowledge, and there's only so much I could cover in this 20-minute video, but I'm telling you right now, eBay to Amazon has changed my life. It's given me a ton of freedom. It's helping me earn over 6 figures per year. It's not the easiest business in the world. Anyone who tells you any business is easy, they're lying or just trying to sell you something. Hopefully I'm giving you enough context to, you know, how I'm running my business and the pros and the cons of it. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. I'm an open book. I'm open to share the good. I'm open to share the bad. It's certainly been a journey over the years building this business, but I love it, and I'm gonna keep going with it. I'm super excited to just answer any questions and share more about it. But with that being said, much love. Appreciate you guys, and have a beautiful day. Bye.